Hello everyone, today we are going to learn about instance method, class method and static methods in the Python. There are three types of methods in the Python: instance method, class method and static method. So suppose we have a class calculator. Name of this calculator is my calculator. So name is a class level variable. So name is a class level variable. This name belongs to a class, not it doesn't belongs to a object. Okay. And class level variable can be accessed using a object of a class or class name itself. Then we have our init method constructor. In init we have self and we are accepting n1 value and n2 value, and we are changing this n1 and n2 value to class level instance variable self dot num1 equal to n1. Then suppose we want to perform the addition of the initialized numbers, so we can have a method called addition, and this addition will have self addition equal, and we can return this addition added value also return. So we can create an object of the class calc object class name calc constructor we have to provide, and we have to pass in this constructor init constructor we have to pass two numbers n1 and n2. So we can pass 2 and 3. N1 will be 2 and n2 will be 3. Then we can call this add method also. So we can call this add method using the calc object. Okay, calculator object. Let's run this program and see the output. So initially calculator class will be defined in the global scope, and it has init method, and it has a add instance method, and it has a name variable class level variable name equal to my calculator. And at line number 14 we are creating an object of this class, and in we are passing 2 and 3 in the constructor. So init constructor we have self variable, self will be nothing but calculator object, and we are passing n1 as a 2 and n2 as a 3. So self dot number 1 will be 2, and self dot and 2 will be nothing but 3. Okay, and at line number 15 we are calling the add method. So in the add method what we are doing, we are printing the addition in the output screen. Addition will be self dot number 1, self dot number 1 will be 2 plus self dot number 2, self dot number 2 will be 3. In this add method we are returning the added value, we are returning 5, but we are not storing this 5 value in some other variable. So 5 will be returned, but we are not storing this returned 5 value in some other variable currently. Okay, see at line number 15. So this add method is a accessor method. So this add method is a instance method. We have created instance of calculator class, and we have created this instance object calc object, and we are calling this instance method add with the instance of the calc class calc object. Okay, so this is a accessor method. This is known as a accessor instance method. We are accessing the values of num1 and num2. These num1 and num2 are instance variable. We are accessing the instance variable, and we are adding the instance variable, and we are returning the value. So this add method is known as an instance accessor method. Suppose we want to modify the value of num2, so we can have a method like modify num2 method. In this we will pass self, and we will pass the new value, change the value of num2 variable equal to new value. We have to call this instance method. Modify num2 is also instance method, so we have to call this instance method with calc object dot modify num2 value as a 5, and after changing the value we can again call calc object dot add, and then it will add the new value 2 and 5, so it will print the 5. Let's run this program and see the output. We have defined the calculator class. Calculator class has initializer constructor, and it has a add method, then it has a modify num2 method instance method. Add and modify num2 are instance method, and then we have a class variable name equal to my calculator. So you can follow the program line by line execution of the program. We are calling the add method. It will print the addition of number 1 and num2. Then we are calling this line number 19. We are calling modify num2 method, instance method. So we are calling this modify num2 instance method with the help of instance of a class. Calc object is an instance of a class. We have created instance of this class at line number 17. Calc object is an instance of the class. Okay. So we have passed the new value 5. So new value will be 5. See here, new value will be 5. And self dot num2 equal to new value. So self has num1 as 2, num2 as 3, as we initialize at line number 17. But at line number 19, we are passing 5 as a new value. And we are saying this new value will be a num2 value. So this 5 will become num2 value. So num2 will become 5. So num2 will be 5. So calc object dot add will we are calling. So calc object will access the self dot number plus self dot num2. Self dot number is 2 and self dot num2 is 5. So it will print addition equal to 7, and it will return the value 7. But we are not saving this returned value in some other variable, so this value will be returned, but we are not saving this value in any variable. So modify num2 is a instance method. It is known as a mutable instance method. So this is a accessor instance method, because we are accessing the value of instance variable. And this modify num2 is a mutable instance method because we are changing instance variable in this modify num2 method. So the modify num2 method is known as a mutable instance method. If we want to print the name of the calculator, then we can use print calc name. So print calc name, and with the print statement we can print name equal to. So here name belongs to the class, it doesn't belongs to the instance of the class. So we can access this calc object using the class using the class. So we have to use cls instead of self. Variables like name is a class variable, so we can access this class level variables using the cls class reference. Okay, we don't need to use self because self belongs to a particular object of the class, but name is a class variable, so we have to use class reference. So cls is a class reference, so we can use cls dot name. It will print the name. So this print calc name is a class method. Okay, and we can access only class variables in this method. We cannot use instance variables in this class method. So we have to use a decorator at the red class method. We cannot use instance variable in this print calc name. Suppose we want to use, okay, if we use instance variable inside the class method, then suppose we can call the class method using the class name itself, calc dot. At line number 22, we haven't initialized num1 and num2 instance variable. We don't have num1 and num2 variable at line number 22. And we are directly calling this print calc name, print calculator name method. So execution will come here, print calculator name. It will successfully print class dot name because class dot name is my calculator. Name is a class variable. Then it will try to access the num1 variable, and num1 variable is not initialized till now, because at line number 22 we haven't created, till line number 22 we haven't created any object of the class. So num1 is not initialized till now, so it is undefined, so it will throw an error. That is why we can't use we can't use instance variables in the class method. Okay, that is why we can't use instance variable in the class method. So now we can print the class name also, and we can print the class, we can call the class methods using the using the objects also, using the class object also. We are calling this class method using the class name, and class we can call this class method using the class instance also. So we have a calc object, and we can call this class method using the calc object also. Let's run this program and see the output. So we have defined a class, then we have initialized the num1 and num2 using the calc object, and we are calling the object to add method, instance method. Add is a accessor instance method. Then we are calling mutable instance method modify num2, so it will change the value of num2 as a 5. And then we are again calling the add method, so it will print 2 plus 5 as a 7. Then at line number 26, we are calling a class method. Class method print calc name. Okay, so execution will go to the class method, line number 17. We have used class method decorator at line number 17. And at line number 18, we are using reference CLS. At line number 19, we are accessing the class dot name, class reference with the class variable. So class reference variable is name. So name is my calculator. So it will print my calculator into the output screen. So my calculator is printed. And at line number 27, we are accessing the class method using the object. We can call the class method using class object also, and it will print the same my calculator object. We can access the class methods with the class objects also, but we can't access class instance variable into the class method. We cannot use instance variable into the class method. We cannot access or modify the class instance variable into the class method. We can modify the class variables, like we can change name cls dot name equal to my private calculator. We can change the class variable into the class methods, but we cannot access or change the instance variable into the class method. We can access and change the class variables into the class method. Similarly, we can have a static method. Static method is used to perform some extra functionality which doesn't belong to class variables or doesn't belong to instance variable. So static methods are the methods which are utility function, which are regular function. It doesn't depend neither on class level variable data nor instance level variable data. So static method is a utility function. They are regular function. Like definition, we are checking is this calculator is a scientific calculator. So we have flag here. If flag is equal to true, flag equal to true, then we will print yes. Otherwise, we will print no. Else we will print no. So see, this scientific calculator method is a static method. It doesn't accessing the class variables. It doesn't accessing the instance variables. It doesn't have any code related to the class variables or instance variable. It doesn't calling the instance method. It doesn't calling the class method also. Okay, so it is a regular function. Okay, which and this regular function, this regular static function is can be used for some utility. Like if we want to find out is this calculator is a scientific calculator, then we can pass a flag. If flag is true, then we will print yes. Otherwise, we will print no. And we can call this static method using the class name also and using the class object also. We will pass false, so it will print no. And we can call this static method with the class object also, like calc object dot this static method, and we can pass false. Suppose this time we pass true, so it will print yes. Let's run this program and see the output. So initially we have declared the class in the global frame. Class will have self, and we are initializing, we are creating object of the class. So num1 and num2 will be initialized, and we are calling the add method at line number 29. So it will print num1 and num2, and it will print 5 at the output screen. Then we are, so add is a accessor method, accessor instance method. Then we are calling the mutator instance method. This is a mutable mutator instance method. Line number 30, modify num2. We are changing the num2 value as a 5, so num2 will become 5. Then we are line number 31. Again, we are calling the add method. So it will add num1 and num2. Num2 is 5 and num1 is 2. So it will add value as a 7. It will print the 7. Then we have our print calc name. Print calc name as a class method. Okay, this is a class method, print calc name. So execution will go to line number 17, and it will access the class name variable. Class name variable is nothing but my calculator, so it will print my calculator into the output screen. Then again we are calling the class method using the class object, and it will again print the same, my calculator, because we can access the class methods using the class objects also. Then we have our static method is scientific calculator, and we are passing pledge as a false. So this is a static method, is scientific calculator, and flag will be false. So see here is scientific calculator, flag is false because we have passed false value in the flag at line number 36. So flag equal to true. This condition is false because flag is false. So it will come into the else part, and it will print no. So no is printed. At line number 36, we are calling this is scientific calculator static method with the class object, and we are passing flag as it. So line number 23, flag equal to true, true equal to true. This condition is true, and it will print yes. So yes is printed. So we have seen there are three types of method in the Python. Uh, instance method. Instance methods are two type. Accessor instance method. In accessor instance method, we are accessing the instance values. Okay. And in mutator instance method, modify num2, we are changing the value of instance variables. Then we have a second type of method, class method. In class method, we can access the class level variables. We cannot access the instance variable into the class method. We can change the value of class variables. We are in the class method, we are accessing the class level variable name, and we are printing the class level variable, okay, name. Okay, and this class level methods can be called using the class name, and it can be called using the object also, class object also, and we have to provide CLS, self, class reference. In the instance method, we have to provide self, okay, self for the instance reference. Then we have third type of method, static method. So in static method, we don't have any kind of reference, neither we have self nor we have CLS, class reference. Static method doesn't depend on the class variables and instance variable. Okay. So static methods are extra utility which can be added into the class. Okay, suppose we want to find out is this calculator is a scientific calculator. It is not using class variable. It is not using instance variable, and it has the functionality to find out if the calculator is a scientific calculator or not. Here we are calling this static method using the class name, and static methods can be called using the class object also. So these are the differences between the class method, static method, and instance methods in the Python. I hope you understood it. Please like, share, and subscribe my channel.